Now welcome back to another video. So tonight I committed to making 6 videos. As I mentioned in my earlier one on Hcmc, the audio has cut out and that has caused a big problem for my stress levels. But fortunately for us, I am actually making the second video on Hcmc right now. Again, the audio, please understand if it cuts out why, but this one we are going to be looking at the news article which is on your screen. It basically reads, Hcmc comments on PTAB petition for inter-patent review IPR filed by Philip Morris. And again, the visuals may not match up at some points in the video because obviously I am unfortunately speaking over it. But yes, we're going over all of that in this video. You guys, some of you may have already heard about this whole thing. If you have, I don't want to waste any more of your time. You don't have to watch this video because some of you will know this. But if you don't know of this, or if you do want to hear some of my personal opinions on this, do make sure to give the video a like because of course we are trying to grow the channel and you guys have helped us massively. And again, the usual things do apply. I am not a financial advisor, you already know that. I am not a lawyer, so if I do not explain any of these terms, in the most correct manner, please understand that this is not my area of expertise. I'm just somebody making videos on YouTube on a stock that I personally like. So yes, if you may enjoy the channel and all that kind of stuff, do make sure to subscribe. We actually have some new features for the channel that you guys can help support now. We now have a Twitter page, as I'm sure a lot of you guys will know. It is at N2S Finance. It is about to come onto your screen, and in just a few moments I will be explaining how we have a Patreon page. Again, if you can support us on Patreon, donate a small amount each month, it would be appreciated as well, but no pressure if you cannot do so, because obviously it's just a voluntary thing that you do not have to do. But yeah, we're going to be looking at Hcmc today and this piece of information. Now this came out 3 days ago or 4 days ago, so a lot of you guys will know what this is about. It's basically Hcmc commenting on this whole thing. So if we have a quick read of the article, we have a quick breakdown at the beginning of what Hcmc is, Hcmc or the company, and again the company in question is obviously Hcmc, as this article does talk about their response, or at least they're speaking about this whole thing with Philip Morris. So if we do have a quick read, basically Hcmc or the company announced that Philip Morris Products, also known as Philip Morris, filed a petition with the Patent Trial and Appeal Board, the PTAB, for US Patent and Trademark Office seeking institute inter-patents review IPR proceedings to invalidate Healthier Choices Management Corp's or at least the company's US patent. And the whole article does break things down in a more complex manner. Again, I must credit some people on YouTube because there are some fantastic people on YouTube who are lawyers who break this one down. But basically, if things are allowed to go ahead, if Philip Morris IPR petition is accepted by the PTAB, the company will have 3 months to optionally file a preliminary response. Within 3 months of the company's preliminary response, or 6 months of acceptance of Philip Morris's IPR petition, the PTAB will decide to institute or deny the IPR proceedings. So again, we're not going into this one in too much detail because I am not a lawyer and some people do explain this fantastically well. But what I can tell from this article is that what it tells us is that this case could take longer than some people may have initially thought. Now, first things first, let's acknowledge why and let's acknowledge what this means for the company. Well, first things first, put yourself in Philip Morris's shoes. Whether you have or have not infringed upon a patent, again, the judge will decide at a much later date from now, but obviously if you think that you have not infringed upon a patent, or even if you think that you have and you think you can get away with it, obviously Philip Morris are going to use the opportunity to try and, delay this one for as long as possible, or do everything in their power to mean that they do not, get caught basically using this patent. So again, they're going to a next stage potentially, which could take a few months, and again, this is not necessarily as bad of a thing as some people make it sound. Now, as I spoke about earlier in my shorter video, some people are going to see this as a really negative thing, not necessarily because of what it means for the lawsuit, but because of the time period it could take. Now, it could be seen as a bad thing, and if somebody was to say it was a bad thing, I can completely understand why. Some of us went into Hcmc with different mentalities. Some of us saw this as more of a long-term investment, and for me, I think that is the correct way to go with Hcmc, but some of us also saw this as a short-term trade to perhaps double or triple your money, and obviously, get out. And unfortunately for those people, with this lawsuit potentially taking much longer than people initially thought, a lot of people are getting annoyed, and I do understand why for those people. But when I think about this whole situation right now, I personally think that price-wise, Hcmc does have a lot of potential to find a support level where we have previously done so before, between the 0.0012 range and down to the 0.0010 range. So that's what I think for the price of Hcmc going forwards. So I'm not too concerned about this causing a drop of price. I think we have seen a little bit of a drop in the past few days because of some, I hate to use a phrase, but I will do so, some of these paper hand people who don't want to hold it for a few years, realizing that the company isn't the one for them. And hey, that is not hate to those people. It does make sense. Hcmc was never going to be for all people. It's a risky play and it could take time. And even over time, even if this lawsuit does come to a head, there is no guarantee it will go in Hcmc's favour. But I still think that Hcmc does still have a decent fundamental business. I think that is what we need to remember. Yes, the lawsuit is a big deal. Yes, this delay could be seen as a negative thing. And yes, we probably will be waiting longer than we were initially hoping to. But what we should remain focused on is the fact that this is a real company. They have real revenue streams. They have a long, or at least a high following of investors. A large amount of investors follow them. And they have decent products which are already on the market. This is not some shell company that doesn't generate any money. Say what you want about their financials, but it is definitely true that you can go on their website and pick up some of their own products. So their stores do exist. It's not like it is a fake company. That's just my personal thoughts on this one. Again, you may disagree, and I may be incorrect, but that's just what I think about Hcmc. So I think nothing has really fundamentally changed with this one. I think if you're looking to buy into Hcmc, there's two things which you should be looking for. One, you should have a lot of patience. This lawsuit could take a while. It could take a very long while. I think that if you're looking to buy into Hcmc, you should be looking to hold this one for at least 12 months. I think actually a decent time to hold this one would be at least 24 months. Now, a lot of us have now acknowledged that Hcmc might be a much longer hold than that. If you do want to see the full rewards of the potential payout from the lawsuit, if you want to see the whole market of vaping and that kind of stuff evolve and get more revenue for Hcmc, this could be a play that could take up to 24 months, even into the 5-year period in my eyes, to see the full benefits of. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. So in my opinion, that is the first thing that you should do. You should ask yourself, am I willing to wait that long? If you're not, that's fine. It doesn't make you a bad investor. Obviously, there are other stocks which are better swing trades. And the second thing which I think that you should ask yourself is, do I think this company is fundamentally strong? Now, at some point later in the week, I will be giving you another fundamental rundown on the business. We do that roughly once a week just to keep new investors informed. But yeah, you need to ask yourself, are you thinking that the company is decent fundamentally? Do you think this company can do well on its own without the lawsuit? If the answer is yes, it could be a decent investment. If the answer is no, maybe it is not the one for you either. But yes, I personally think that Hcmc is a risky play, it is a gamble, but it always was. Nothing fundamentally has changed. The lawsuit will be breaking that one down in a bit more detail in another video, but I don't think this is necessarily as bad of a deal as people are making it out to be. I think this one is still a long-term hold, and again, whether it does well or not, that's completely, undecided right now, and whether you think it's a good investment or not is up to you to decide, because I am not a financial advisor, as it will tell you on your screen. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye.